Hi, this is Kevin, a CPA that does financial planning, and today I'm going to talk about a movement that I've been noticing, and that's the tiny house or the tiny home movement. And so on HGTV, there's now a number of shows about people that are choosing to go small. There is a financial perspective of why people are choosing to own their home as opposed to take a mortgage out. But there's also a perspective of that maybe we've gotten a little bit out of hand with desiring larger and larger places to live, more and more stuff that clutters our life. So I don't know the definition of a tiny home. I'm going to be showing you some homes during this video. And I also don't know if these photos are copywritten in any way or if someone gets upset about it, but I will remove the photos if somebody wants me to. But I think their story needs to be told. So why would an able-bodied younger person decide to live on a trailer? Why would they decide that? Well, from watching the shows and from reading a blog that I read, it appears that people want a greater simplicity in their life. They want a more sustainable life. They don't want to be beholden to a job for all their income. It would be very easy to blow these people off and just say that they're lazy and don't want to have a job. But that's not the case from what I have seen. Again, maybe HGTV only has the young, attractive, and people that look extremely strong. But many of the people that they show actually do work. And they had a travel nurse who, when she goes 6 months at a time to other parts of the country, she wanted to be able to bring her stuff. There were a couple of engineer students that just graduated, and they wanted to build and own their own home, and so they were able to build it for between $30,000 and $40,000. I think there's also a yearning for greater simplicity. The bigger our houses get, the more stuff we need to fill our houses, the more clutter we have, and then sometimes we feel like, I know I do, that sometimes we're a slave to our home. So last week I heard a speaker, and he said that, the job is really a newer phenomenon. If you go back 200-300 years, most people didn't have what we call today a job. And, jobs seem less plentiful the last couple of years than they have in the past couple decades. But he was mentioning that if you grew up born to a good family, you won the lottery and you had a good life. If you grew up and you were poor, you were probably going to be poor for the rest of your life. And I know there's still issues when people are born to better or worse families. I just think that, relying on the job to be able to pay for a house that we can't afford, and again, I've been in this situation myself, it's very alluring to think about owning a piece of property, owning a house that you can go anywhere, do anything, and you own it. So how the heck does owning a small home make you cool? Well, that's the part of the movement that I find so fascinating. The first person that built a tiny home and told others probably was perceived to be somewhat crazy. Then the next few dozen probably the same. But now it's actually a movement. And the people that are being portrayed are choosing this way of life. They're choosing not to be a part of the rat race. They're choosing not to be a part of mainstream society. They're creating their own community. And that's, again, what I find so fascinating, is they're creating their own community. So what can we learn from these people? Well, the message is similar as it's been before, and that's that things do not create happiness. We have people here that are all feeling really good about their lives because they're part of a movement, they're part of a community. They're living on their own terms. We all need to be vigilant about the wanting more and wanting more and wanting more. Sometimes we need to say enough. And So that's what I pledge to do in my own life with my family. And although my wife thinks that a lot of these people that live in tiny homes are just crazy, I think the movement can teach us all a great lesson.